You know what? We just hung in there. Probably shouldn't even win the overtime, but give my guys a lot of credit for being resilient enough to bounce back. Because even when we were walking off the floor, the one thing we had to say when we talked to them on the bench was get your heads back up. Still 5 more minutes left in the game, so give them a lot of credit for that. But Boston started to pressure us, being a lot more aggressive. I think we got flustered a little bit. Then we got our composure back and able to pull it off.
Was there any thinking of fouling Brad?
It was. And that's twice that I was thinking about it, and they hit a 3, and we went into overtime, I think. So I don't know if I'll think about it next time. I might just do it. I don't know yet. Because that's something that I've just never done. But this year, for some reason, it seems like it's kind of evening out, from my coaching career. I never really just intentionally foul guys. But this year has been kind of crazy. They've hit a couple of 3s on it to get it into overtime.
You had talked yesterday about wanting to see guys with hunger and play hard, despite the 10-point lead. Did you see that throughout? Why you kind of changed the line quite a bit there?
Pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, again, I thought we played hard. We competed all night long, and that's what I'm looking for. And we had some guys that came in tonight and stepped up, especially our guys off the bench. Jeremy had a great game. Wesley Johnson had a great game. So we had a lot of guys contribute tonight.
What's the difference when Jeremy plays like he did tonight? Is so effective getting going. What's making that, allowing that to happen that for so many games this year hasn't?
I don't know. I think you have to probably ask him if he's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, understanding what he needs to do. And, there's still a couple of times I had to yell at him about just keep your spacing, and just play basketball. But, for the most part, just being aggressive, looking for your shot when you have it, but also looking to get your teammates involved in the game.
Jeremy told Mike that you threatened the guys if they weren't in the right spacing.
I didn't threaten them. It was a promise. It wasn't a threat. Tell them if you F up, and you're not doing what you're supposed to. 5 months is long enough time for guys to understand what we're doing, what we're supposed to do. So if you don't, I'll just take you out. I think I've been pretty patient, with that as far as what we need to do defensively.
What sparked Nick's turnaround as far as his shooting and just overall?
I don't know what sparked it, but obviously we're glad that that he made a few shots. But I thought defensively against Evan Turner, he did a heck of a job. We talked about the last couple of minutes is just playing everybody straight up so we don't give up 3-point shots and we're not in rotation. So he took the challenge, did a good job defensively, and I'm still a firm believer if you have that mindset when you go into the game that you're going to defend, everything else kind of take care of itself.
Even before this game, when the shots weren't falling, what sense did you get when you started to kind of buy into all that?
When I promised to take their butts out if you don't defend and do the other things that we need you to do.
How much of a factor was running price?
How much of a what? I think Ronnie turned the game around. I think with his aggressiveness on the defensive end, he caused some turnovers on their part, and the way he was playing Isaiah, I thought he turned the game around.
Do you enjoy this a little bit more because it is competing with
I enjoy this a lot more. I'm a happy man tonight.
The game is different than obviously all these other matchups with the Celtics. Did it have a feel in terms of the atmosphere?
Well, I think the energy was there. I think even our fans who know the history of our rivalry with them, they seemed even much more into it tonight. When they got introduced, the boos were louder than I've heard in a while. So I think our fans understand, that history between these two organizations. So, again, like I said, I'm going to enjoy it a little bit more tonight.
Coach, talk about Wesley Johnson tonight.
Played great. Both ends of the floor, made some shots for us, rebounded the ball well, defended well. He had a couple of lapses where he, got backdoored, but other than that, he played a really good basketball game tonight. Thanks, guys.